karma. Can we change our life direction? If patterns are shaping the direction of our life, then a natural question begins to arise. Can this direction actually change, or are we slowly moving along a path that has already been set by what we have done before? In the previous episode, we saw how patterns begin shaping the direction of our life. Repeated actions do not stay isolated, they begin creating a certain flow over time. And as this flow continues, it starts influencing the kind of situations we find ourselves in again and again. This moment may feel natural, but it is not random. When we begin to see this clearly, a deeper question naturally appears. Is this direction something fixed, or is it still open to change? At first, it may feel like life is already moving in a certain direction, and that moment feels difficult to alter. This is because patterns that have been repeated over time start feeling stable, familiar, and almost certain in nature. They begin to guide our responses without much effort or awareness. The response feels immediate, as if it is the only way to act. So, it may appear as if direction is already decided, as if we are simply following what has already been said. But when we observe more carefully, something important begins to appear. This direction is not separate from us. It is not something outside our action. It is being shaped continuously through the way we respond in each moment. Action and direction are closely connected. And if action is continuous, then direction is also being formed moment by moment. It is not created all at once. This means direction is not something fixed in advance. It is something that is gradually taking shape. Even though patterns feel strong, they are still part of an ongoing moment. They continue because they are repeated. They are not independent of action. And what is ongoing can also change over time, not suddenly or dramatically, but in a gradual and subtle way. But this change does not begin at the level of outcome. It does not start from what we see externally. It begins at the level of action. It begins in the way we respond in the present moment. When the way we respond begins to shift, even slightly, the direction that follows also begins to shift. At first, this change may not be clearly visible. In the situations we experience, it may feel like nothing has changed. This is because outcomes take time to reflect the changes happening within action. But even when it is not visible, the shift has already begun. It exists in a subtle form within the action itself. This is why change in direction is not immediate. It unfolds gradually as actions begin to change. Each small shift in response adds to a new moment. Even a slight difference begins to matter over time. And when these small shifts continue to happen, they begin forming a different flow. So, direction is not changed by force or decision alone. It is not something we can impose, it changes through action. And action begins to change when it is seen clearly in the moment it is happening. This is where awareness plays a quiet role. It does not control direction, but it influences it. Because when action is no longer completely automatic, the direction it creates also begins to shift. So, change is not about creating a new life suddenly, it is about seeing the current moment clearly. And in that clarity, even a small change in response can begin to influence what comes next. Over time, these small changes become part of a new direction, and that direction begins to unfold naturally. So, the real question is not whether life can change, the real question is how action is moving right now. In your daily life, can you notice where a small shift in response is possible? In the next episode, if change is possible like this, what prevents this change from happening?